Well, good morning and welcome to Training Bytes, a digestible approach to counterpoint training. Today's subject is customer specific purchasing. There we go. As we move through, you may have questions, and if you do, you can put them in the Q&A. If you don't have, if for some reason you don't have a Q&A button, feel free to put them in the chat, but we're going to look at Q&A first. Okay, we'll have Q&A at the end of the session. Okay, like I said, this is Training Bytes, an adjustable approach to counterpoint training. I'm not Gina Thomas, in case you weren't aware of that, but I do love that hat. This is me. I'm Marty Katz. I'm a project lead over here at C&K Systems. And Gina's voice has been going in and out this week. And so I am filling in for her. So, but she is in the background and will be judging me. She's very judgy that way. No, we're going to have a good time. And we're going to take a look at customer specific ordering. So we all, if you do a lot of ordering or you have customers who come in looking for niche items that they may not be able to get someplace else, or they just like you and they want to buy from you rather than someplace else. And you come in and they say, hey, do you have any more of these things that I bought last time I was here or that I saw on your website or whatever? And you say, gosh, I ran out of them, but I'm getting ready to place an order, or I can order one for you. So the first thing, so the old way of doing this was I took out a sticky note and I said, Mrs. Jones wants a ADM SCD, which is just a part number in Counterpoint, but she wants one of these, and order it next time you're placing an order. And you take that sticky note and you put it on your buyer's desk, and it's gone with the wind as soon as something happens. So then the customer calls up and says, did you buy this? And I don't know, and you don't know, and the buyer doesn't remember, or the buyer says, I never received that sticky note. So we want to make it so you can use your system to take care of your customer needs. And of course, if you don't do that, you cause unhappy customers and you have a customer service gap if you're not able to track these orders efficiently. So we're going to show you how you can use Counterpoint to take care of all of this for you. And we're going to do that with customer specific purchasing. And there are a few reports, and when we get into the system, you may see a couple others, but we're going to use a customer specific report. That will allow you to see what you need to order. And then we're going to take that customer specific report and use it to create a purchase request. And we're going to take a look at the customer specific report so that you can use when the customer calls in and says, hey, is my stuff in yet? What's going on? And be able to process out the order eventually at the end. Let's take a look at the process. Customer comes in and places an order. The buyer runs a report on customer specific purchases and uses that to generate a purchase request. The purchase request gets posted, gets sent to the vendor, and we can review the status of that purchase request or that customer specific purchase order in the open customer specific purchases report. We need longer names for these things so I can stumble over them better. All right, so what you want to do is on a regular basis, your buyer wants to come in here and go into purchasing purchase requests, and they can just preview the customer specific purchases needs. You can preview it, you can print it. If there's something on there, you can generate it. You can filter it if it's, for example, say you have two buyers. One person buys from certain vendors and the other person buys from other vendors. They can use the filtering to get just their vendors on the customer specific order. But you're going to preview it, you're going to generate it, and when it's generated, it's going to make a note that it's going to make a purchase request for each vendor that you've selected. And the good news is that if you already are working on a purchase request, they can still do the customer specific purchase request because it doesn't merge them together. Okay. So sometimes when you do purchase requests and you have multiple for a vendor, they end up getting merged. Customer specific purchase orders do not get merged into existing purchase requests. So when you decide to generate, you're going to get a form like this. You could say, I'm making just customer orders. So you might want to put something like this as a prefix for your customer orders because you may get more than one generated, more than one purchase request generated. So you can have a number set up that way. You put in your order date. Nobody cares about previewing these reports because you're going to look at them in the edit process anyway. When you go in to edit your purchase request, you're going to want to put some comments in here. Maybe you can say this is an order for Brian Sheridan. You may want to put in the estimated delivery date is. If, for example, you know that tailor-made usually takes about a week to deliver, you might want to go ahead and put in here 4/21 since we ordered on 4/14. Or if you were doing this today, you might want to put 5/8. And I'll show you where that information can come in useful later on. Then you post your purchase request. Oh, you go onto the lines tab, excuse me. And you can see here, we have a button here. This button is normally grayed out or not present. And that is because you don't usually have customer orders. Sorry. There we go. We don't usually have customer orders on a purchase request, but this time you do. When you push that button, the customer orders button, it will bring up, you can actually look at the order that this item is on. So you can see which customer, whatever information you want to do. You can also say you're out of your Tailor FSWs right now and you don't want to, you're not ready to make a purchase order, but you notice that, well, I've already charged or I'm already paying freight. Maybe I should just go ahead and order another one, and you can add it right underneath here. It won't merge into it, and it has to be a separate line, but it will do that so that you can order two and only have one shipping instead of two. All right. Once you've generated a purchase request or posted to a purchase order or received your merchandise, you can review the status of the customer specific purchase under point of sale reports, open customer specific purchases report. Right now, if we ran this, and I'll show you this in the live software in just a minute. If we did this right now, nothing would show up because if we haven't posted this, or we certainly haven't received it. It's not in a received state right now. So this report would be blank. If I check these boxes, I'll see whether or not it's on a request or on an order, or if it's been received. And all of those are very useful for your customer maintenance and customer satisfaction. You can also view your customer specific purchase orders through a Zoom. So Mr. Baker calls and says, hey, what's the status of my special order? And you come in here, you look them up, you do a customer Zoom, and we can see what open POs are related to his order. And I want you to notice over here, this is an order, one order for two different vendors. And so we have two different purchase order numbers, number 82 and number 84. These are all hyperlinks. So if you click on it, it's going to take you to the purchase order, and you can see the status of the purchase order in the purchasing system. But I'll show you in a set, and when we get into the live software, a little tweak that I made to the Zoom that's not at all hard to make, and you can then see a little bit more detail on this purchase order. Not a lot, but not anything that you wouldn't be able to see if you just clicked on the hyperlink. Okay, and so now let's hop over to Counterpoint. And if I remember correctly, I already made an order for a customer. So we're going to go to purchasing, purchase requests, customer specific purchases. Flying at the speed of rabbits, or excuse me, turtles. I don't remember who won that race. Preview, print, generate. Okay, we can preview the report. Oh, thank goodness, I did leave us an order back there. So we can see that we need to place an order with Adams for Miss Carol Dawn. Her customer order number is 54. Let me zoom this up a little bit. Her order number is 70054. It was placed today. There's all the information that we need to, and probably more than we need to know about this order at this time. So I'm going to hit the generate button, and we're going to put in, I'm going to put in CD or C Dawn. How's that for Carol Dawn? Today's date. If you have multiple customers in there, you may want to do a separate purchase order for each customer. It's not necessary. You will get a separate one for each vendor. And if you want to, you can filter. We're going to skip the filtering because the filtering is done here. Sorry. I could filter just to Adams, which is fine because it's the only one that I have. Now I hit generate. Now I put C Dawn in here and click OK. I thought I'd hit OK. I guess I hadn't. All right, there we go. So we've created one purchase request, and we're not going to take a look at those edit lists because we're going to go straight into purchasing, purchase request, enter. And you see we've got one purchase request in my batch. Click on it. I'm going to look up my purchase request. I have one. Okay, I can change my ship to in here, obviously, all these different things. I said I like to do the delivery date, and I'll show you why in a second. Let's try again, 5/8, there we go. I can put a note in here. Carol Dawn, this is her purchase request. We come to lines. Now you see that's grayed out now, but when I highlight this line is a customer specific line. So I can see the customer orders when I click on the button. And we can see we have not created we don't have a receiver yet or anything like that. I can see if there's any payments, I can see taxes, bill to order information, all that good stuff. I can even reprint the ticket if I needed to. All right, I'm just going to add one of these. It wants me to add 11. I'm not going to add 11, but I am going to add one because I'm already paying freight. I highlight this one. The customer order button is grayed out because it's not on the order. It's not a customer specific order. This one is. So you can add a couple of items as long as I'm buying this. Let's go ahead and get a couple more and we'll go on with our day. Save, post. Are you sure you want to post? Yes. So now my purchase request has turned into a purchase order, and I don't care about any of these forms for today. You'll probably want to print some out, put them with the copy of the order, all the things that your people will need to know. So I'm going to come back here and go to point of sale, reports, open customer specific purchases report. All right. Now I'm going to right now it's filtered to received, and oh, that report's blank. Well, that's because we haven't received it yet. Check those boxes. And in this case, we see it's on a purchase order. And I'm going to bump this up in size again. The customer order number is 70054 for custom number 1003, Carol Dawn. She has one ADM SCD, and it's on a purchase order number 110067, dated today. All very nice and neat. But if I had unchecked those boxes, it's empty. Okay. Let's take a look. Ms. Dawn calls up and says, hey, where's my order? I thought it was going to be in 3 days. We call up, we look at Carol Dawn, and we zoom. We look at special purchases. Okay, I've got 2 special purchases out there. One was one I was playing with earlier today, but here's today's. And we see the estimated delivery date is 5/8/24. It's not the day it's been delivered like on this one's already been completed, but it's still in the system. And if we took a look at that, it should tell us that. Actually, that's the purchase order. Yeah, this has been released. So, all right. But we see here that it's due in. You can say, oh, Ms. Dawn, it's in, or it'll be in next Wednesday is when we anticipate it. Oh, I'm sorry, you thought it was going to be here on the 4th. It's going to be here on the 8th. We'll call you as soon as it comes in. And what you want to do is you want to run this report on a regular basis, probably once a morning. It doesn't take very long, but that way your staff knows I need to call. Right now, we're not going to call Ms. Dawn because it's not in yet, but we're going to go ahead and go into purchasing, receivings enter. I don't have any on file, but I will in a second. Auto assign, and there is my open purchase order. They both came in. Save, post. And one of the reasons why I didn't preview that form, if I come over here and I hit print receivers, I have that box down here that says print purchase order information. If I do that, preview this, and it's going to tell me that one of these is for Carol Dawn and one of these is for stock because it doesn't have any customer specific information number on it. As part of your regular process, you come in, you run your open customer specific orders, preview this. Carol Dawn's orders ready. Status is received. Status is received. So you can give Ms. Dawn a call and tell her to come pick up her golf club. All right, let's flip back to the slideshow. All right, key takeaways. We can run the customer specific report through purchasing. We can view customer orders through purchasing, receiving, resume, and we can run the open customer specific purchasing report so that you can fill the order for the customer or call the customer and tell them that their order is ready to be picked up. How did we do? Well, I hope I did okay. I was probably a little fast. I apologize if it was. I'm new to this. But share your feedback and topic suggestions. You can go to www.cksystem.com, Training Bytes survey, all one word. You'll also get this a copy of the recording for this in an email, and attached to that will be the survey. Next month's topic is mixed bytes. These are just little things that none of them are big enough to make a full presentation, but we'll talk about changing the splash screen behind, when you log into Counterpoint, there's a screen in the background. So we're going to go over how to change that. Things that you might have to do, such as changing an item from an inventory item to a non-inventory item. You create an item and like it's shipping or something that you're not going to stock, but you do need to order and process through Counterpoint. I saw somebody processing rent in their Counterpoint system this week. I thought it was odd, but I didn't get into it because it's not my business. But if they had created that as an inventory item, they probably don't want that. So they might have to change it to a non-inventory item. We're also printing individual labels, point of sale topics, configuring a cash discount, drawer management, and probably a few other tidbits as we come up with them and start fleshing this out. So if you have something like a simple thing that you think we could add, go ahead and put that on your Training Bytes survey. Can't guarantee you that it'll make it into the presentation, but it might. So let us know. Reserve your spot by you'll get the invitation shortly. And if you want training from Gina, not from me, at least not this week, maybe next week, if she's lost her voice again, I might have to fill in on some training, but get training tailored to your business using your data with your company customers' items. You can call 888-476-7911, extension 3, or you can email training@cksystem.com. Gina, do we have any questions or answers or anything?
Actually, I have a question.
Okay.
In your Zoom, when you zoomed in on the customer
Yes.
and you had that delivery line date, is that
Yes.
out of the box or did you have to customize that?
I had to customize that. So yeah, it wasn't there, and that's why it wasn't in your thing. But if I come here and I go to customize, and it's not that hard to customize a Zoom once you've done it or someone showed you how. So let's just go over what I did. I clicked on options and customize. And when I do that, there's a bunch of tabs up here. This tab is over here. That's what this tab is, the stuff that's going to be at the top above the line. And then when you see down here, we have a tab here for each button. Okay, so we got recent sales is the recent sales button. And if I come across to special purchases, I just added line delivery date from the list of available fields on the left. And then I click OK. And then I say save as, and I put save as default and it's going to tell me that there's one already there because there is already one there. But yeah, I did do that as a customization.
Yeah, easy enough. I thought maybe you did something in SQL. I didn't know it was an available column.
No, no, no.
See, you
I
taught me
try to
something,
stay out of
Marty.
that. Oh, goodness gracious. I taught the master. All right. Any other questions that were in the queue there?
I am looking now. Okay, nothing in the Q&A. I'll check the chat. Nope, nothing in the chat, Marty.
All right. Well, oh, we got some more people that showed up. That's nice. Anybody you will I want to thank you all first of all for okay. And just see if there's anything else if you want to jump in with a question. I want to thank you all. I hope I did a good job. Not probably as good as Gina because she's been doing this for a few years now and this is my first time. So hopefully hopefully I was useful and you got some good information out of this. If you found it very entertaining, we'll be doing it again this afternoon at 1. The same link will bring you back. Or if you go in between the end of this session and the beginning of the next session and you start poking around at it and you come up with a question, come on back and we'll be glad to try and answer it then. Anything else, Gina?
Not that I can think of, Marty. Thank you very much. It was great.
Oh, well, thank you. I'm glad I was able to pitch it for you. I hope your voice is much better today than it was yesterday. And so hopefully by the end of the week, you'll be back to your normal self. So
I
anyway,
hope so.
thank you, everybody. And we'll see you next month at our miscellaneous bites. Is that what it's called?
Mixed bites.
Mixed bites.
Well, that was very clever of me, don't you think?
Yes. All right. Well, everybody have a good day. And we'll talk to you next month, if not sooner.